Every mystery leaves a shadow, and tonight we follow one of the darkest shadows in modern history. In the winter of 1959, a group of experienced young hikers set out on a journey through the frozen mountains of the Soviet Union. They were skilled, they were prepared, and they knew exactly what they were doing. But within days, something happened in the darkness. Something so terrifying that it caused them to slash open their tent from the inside and run into the freezing wilderness. Many would never be seen alive again. More than 60 years later, nobody agrees on what truly happened. This is the Dyatlov Pass Mystery. It was January 1959. 10 hikers planned a difficult expedition through the northern Ural mountains. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov. The group consisted of experienced students and outdoor adventurers. This was not a group of beginners. They had trained for harsh winter conditions and had completed difficult journeys before. Their route would take them across remote mountain terrain where temperatures could fall far below freezing. As the journey began, everything appeared normal. But before reaching the most dangerous section of the route, one member became ill and turned back. That decision may have saved his life. The remaining 9 continued forward. None of them knew they were heading toward one of history's most famous mysteries.
For several days, the expedition progressed as expected. The hikers recorded photographs. They wrote notes. Everything suggested a routine winter adventure. Then, suddenly, communication stopped. At first, nobody panicked. The group was known for traveling in difficult conditions. Delays were common. But as days passed, concern began to grow. Search teams were organized. Friends and family demanded answers. The mountains were searched, and eventually, investigators found something disturbing: the tent.
When rescuers arrived, they immediately noticed something strange. The tent was damaged, but not from the outside. The fabric had been cut open from within. It looked as though the hikers had desperately escaped through the walls of their own shelter. Even more disturbing, most of their equipment remained behind. Warm clothing, supplies, boots, everything was still there. Why would experienced hikers leave safety behind in one of the coldest environments on Earth? The footprints leading away from the campsite only deepened the mystery. The tracks suggested the group had walked away, not run, not fought, walked, as if they were leaving something or heading towards something.
Search teams followed the trail. Eventually, they discovered the first bodies near a forest. A small fire appeared to have been built beneath a tree. 2 hikers were found nearby. They had died from exposure to the cold. Yet, questions remained. Why had they stopped there? Why weren't they wearing proper winter gear? And where were the others? The search continued. Soon, more bodies were found. Some appeared to be trying to return to the tent when they died. It was as if the group had realized too late that leaving the shelter had been a fatal mistake. But the final discoveries were even stranger.
Months later, the remaining bodies were located, and what investigators found sparked decades of debate. Several victims had severe internal injuries. Some injuries were compared to those seen in high-impact accidents, yet there were few external wounds. One victim was missing a tongue. Others showed unusual trauma. The findings confused investigators. How could such injuries occur in a remote mountain wilderness? No clear explanation existed. The mystery became even larger, and the theories began.
Over the years, countless explanations have been proposed. Some believe an avalanche forced the hikers to abandon their tent. Others suggest powerful winds created terrifying conditions. Some point towards secret military testing during the Soviet era. And of course, stranger theories emerged. Unknown creatures, paranormal events, unidentified aerial phenomena. Most experts remain skeptical of the more extreme claims. But one fact remains: no theory perfectly explains every detail.
That is why the case continues to fascinate people around the world.
Decades after the tragedy, researchers revisited the evidence. Some scientists suggested that a specific type of delayed avalanche could explain the group's actions. According to this theory, the hikers feared immediate danger and left their tent. The freezing conditions then led to a series of tragic decisions. For many observers, this explanation solved the mystery. For others, important questions remained unanswered. Even today, debates continue. Maybe the answer is simple. Maybe it is not. What happened on that freezing mountain in 1959 may never be fully understood. But one thing is certain: 9 experienced hikers entered the wilderness. Only one member of the original group returned home. And somewhere beneath the snow and silence of those mountains, the shadow of that night still remains. Every mystery leaves a shadow, and tonight we followed one of the darkest. Subscribe to Shadow Theory for more unsolved mysteries and forgotten stories.